Shalom, Israel. This is Sister Kana. And first and foremost, I have to give all glory and praise to AHAYAH, Bahashim Yashaya, Wa Kodash, Wa. I pray you all are having a blessed day. I pray you had a wonderful Sabbath, Shabbat Shalom. And I want to say welcome to the Nappy Hair Chronicles. Nappy Hair Chronicles, girls. Got your hair, got the hair out. Nappy hair. And I put a little water on it so it's really shrinking down. Okay? So, I don't know why I did that, but I was trying to make it a little more manageable, you know. So, this is the hair, guys. And it's okay. We can do it. It's doable. You know, I'm getting used to it. But I want to say, encourage you ladies to take off them weaves, take off them wigs, take off all that makeup, clowning ourselves, looking like clown. Like sometimes I'll be looking at sister and I'll be like, oh my gosh, she looked like a clown. But you know what I thought about? I was like, you know how they made the Afro wig and made that synonymous with a clown? Like everything, related to us as a people, like our Nappy call you here, they made it a derogatory statement, like the clown has the Afro wig and, but, that's Esau and this is his kingdom. So that's why. But ladies, you're beautiful with your natural hair, with no makeup. You're beautiful. Your skin is beautiful. Enjoy yourselves and don't be feeling like you got to take hours to paint your face and, put all that stuff on and put weaves and hair spending money on that stuff. Sisters, you're beautiful. You're the most beautiful women on the planet. The Most High loves you. You are the apple of his eye. And I just want to say that to my sisters, because we don't tell each other enough how beautiful we are. And if we don't need to have weave down to the floor, that's not what makes us beautiful. We don't need to have lashes on out the hair. That don't make us beautiful. It's what you have inside, sisters. And we have to work on the inside, And, the men, they will catch on, And I really want, that's what Nappy Hair Chronicles is all about. Just talking about, being a black woman, relating to my younger sisters in Babylon who are still stuck in Babylon. And first of all, you know that you can come out of there. You can survive out of there. We can make it because the Most High, AHAYAH, told us that he would protect those within his borders. Jordan is the safe place, and we will make it. I'm not saying it's going to be totally easy, because it hasn't been totally easy for me. But you know what? The Most High took care of me every step of the way. He kept his word. So that's what this Nappy Hair Chronicles is all about. Celebrating being a black woman, coming out of America, surviving the curses, and now we're, working towards building ourselves and preparing for this kingdom. So I want to go into some of these topics, these hot topics. Oh my gosh. And there's so much stuff I'm going to cover. And guys, I have a book here and I was thinking about writing some stuff down so I can remember, because I don't remember, some of the stuff like I'm feeling. But since I did the last Nappy Hair Chronicles, I've seen a couple of videos, of brothers from the manosphere, and the foolishness and the madness that a lot of these brothers are spewing out of their mouth, seeing these gay black men who are all gay and feminine, all in this one group, the black man. And we can't let, that slip. We seem like we make two categories, and I'm guilty of it too, like the black man and then gays. No, this is one category. It's black men, and the foolish cycle that they going through in and out with all kind of stuff. So we need to talk about it. And I told some sisters that I was going to go live, but I will try to do it next time, because I had to prepare for Shabbat and I was running around and I wasn't able to do it, because I usually do the Nappy Hair Chronicles on Friday. After I usually do Shabbat early. I have time, so I'll just do that Nappy. But just so happened this week, I ran out of time, so I couldn't do it. So I'm recording it this one, but if you guys are interested, I can do a live. You guys can call in. We can talk about this. And, it's a form of healing as well. And I don't want people to look at it as man bashing, because I'm not bashing the man or anything. But dialogues need to happen so that people can start to heal, because it can't be just this one-sided dialogue that women are bad and women need to get themselves together, and it's all about the women and women and women, what we need to do. And these brothers, they just don't feel that they need to be fixed. They're horrible in the way that they treat women, their perceptions, their solutions. Nothing is working, because for one, they're still under these curses. They haven't made it right with the Most High. And so the blessing has not gone forth, So they're not listening. They're not obeying. You know what I'm saying? They're still in Babylon, spinning their wheels and trying to act like everything is okay. And it's not okay. And so these things need to be spoke about, because if you don't speak about it, you know what I'm saying, then it's act like it's never been said, and they don't hear and they don't see. And that's the thing, like I find brothers always talking about, oh, they want a good woman. They want a good woman. They want a good woman. Listen, I've been a good woman all my life. I was that type of sister. I didn't talk much. I was quiet. Listen, these brothers were running around, disrespecting you, never really appreciating a good woman. They never did, and they haven't up until now. They look at a good woman as somebody that they can sleep around on, they can dog out, and then they start beating you behind. And look, now they just straighten up killing sisters. And these are women that's tolerating abuse from brothers, that's taking care, cook, have a place, got kids by them, and they killing them because because you're a good woman, and you're passive, you're nice, you're sweet, you're cooking and cleaning and taking care of stuff for them, then they feel they can disrespect you. Then they can feel they can call you out your name. And then they start hitting you, and then they start beating the crap out of you, and then they ultimately killing you. Wake up. These men are delusional, and they're out of order, and they are under demonic vibrations and demon possession, and this is why they can't see the forest before the trees. Black women have always been holding down their men. For the most part, they have just gotten out of control. They have just started running amok, because black men have long left them in the house, left them alone, since the song Papa was a rolling stone, wherever he left. That was in the 60s and the 70s. These brothers was not in the home, wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, not taking care. They had many places they were sleeping around back then. So now we here 50 years later, and now they want to cry and complain and talk about a good woman. I mean, they're delusional. They never had any respect for women. They never did. They always thought that they could do what they wanted to do. And now it's slapping them in the face because there's an awakening happened. And now they're rushing around trying to get the daughters of Zion in order, because they've been out of control for centuries. And now you want to still blame women. You still don't want to correct yourself and at least say, listen, I was wrong. Put the onus on you, because sisters, and I can vouch because I'm a sister and I'm a black woman, and I know I'm a good woman. I've always been a good woman. And any brother that I was with knew, and that's all he said. But they never was doing right by the good woman. They was always running around, disrespecting, bring a woman in your bed if they got the opportunity. They would do all that stuff, and now they doing it with each other. They faggots and all this kind of stuff. They sleeping with other men. They just took it up 5 notches with the disrespect. And then got the nerve to sit in your face and act like, oh, you need to be quiet and wholesome. Like you was never that. Well, I'm a woman today, and I'm going to stand up for myself and say I was always that. I was always a righteous daughter of Zion, in the eyes of the Most High. And that's why he allowed me to come out of Babylon. He chose me. I'm so thankful. Praise AHAYAH that he chose me and he called me out. He said, daughter, you ain't got to go through that. Daughter, you don't deserve that. And I'm so thankful to the Most High because he heard my cries. So to hear these brothers speak the way they speak and talk so disrespectful about women and so degrading about women, like we got to come back to our man. And I know they're not talking about all women, but I saw the process. I'm a witness to the process of how women got to where they are today. It's because of the brothers, the men were always out of order. And the sisters just follow suit. So what you're seeing today is just sisters following behind men. And the men are out of order. And let me tell you, they don't have a clue, brothers and sisters, of how out of order they are. Like with the Most High. Like, I'm even talking about brothers who was in this truth, who heard the cry of come out of for my people, right? A lot of them went and left Babylon. And was in Egypt and different other places, around different areas, Afghanistan, Pakistan, wherever they went, India, Egypt, Israel, whatever. And then they end up packing up like Lot's wife, worse than Lot's wife, and went back to Babylon. At least the Most High had mercy on Lot's wife, and he just got rid of her and turned her into a pillar of salt. A lot of brothers packed up and carried their behinds back to Babylon. So people want to talk about Lot's wife. What excuse do you have for not keeping your vow? And that's another thing I want to talk about. I'm going to get back on the Lot's wife thing. Okay. But the brothers, they're not truce keepers. Like they'll make a vow. They're straight up liars. The Most High, it says your word is your bond. When you speak a word, you make a vow, you're supposed to keep your word. That shows the character on a man. And this is why a lot of sisters don't respect brothers, can't trust brothers, because they say something and then they're doing something else. And then they want you to, to look at them and be calling them Lord and King. But you had me in that place where I was respecting you and calling you Lord and King. And then you turn around and just disregard the things that you told me that you said you were going to do. Like when a man lies to you and he don't keep his word. I mean, you ain't got but so many times to be telling me lies or to not keep your word and be disrespectful about it and act like, oh, well, I don't need you anyway, You're not going to keep your word and then you're going to be disrespectful about it. You ain't got too many times to show me that your word don't mean nothing. And see, this is a lot of things, and I hope brothers are listening. Because when you break your word, when you break your vow, even the most unrighteous, unholy, unspiritual woman going to hold you to that. Because your word is your bond. And if you said you was going to do something, if you made a vow, to someone, a woman, that you was going to do something, that you was doing this and you wanted to do that, and then you turn around and spit in her face and try to act like, oh, because you come up with some concoction in your mind about why she all of a sudden isn't worthy of your vow or your word. And now you turn to do a 360 and spit in her face about it. And then time go by. Now you want to come back and act like, oh, nothing happened. And you didn't say these things and you didn't, turn around your word and didn't keep your word. And you do it, not only do you do it to women, you do it to the Most High. Like I was saying with brothers coming out of Babylon and, saying they're leaving. These are Hebrew Israelites who left, who were in Israel. Who was in Israel, who was in Egypt. And then they just up and left because when it got too hard or because when somebody called them and told them to go back, or they went back like Lot's wife. And now you're supposed to have some level of respect for them. I mean, it's delusional because brothers don't even see themselves. They don't even hear themselves. Your word is your bond, brother. When you make a vow, and you're supposed to keep it because AHAYAH, his word don't come back void. And yours is not supposed to either. But because you're not in line with your father, and you don't even respect the vow you make with your father, that a woman, she can forget it. So these are the kind of things that brothers need to pay attention to, that they need to look at themselves. Look at yourself, brother. And I know I should have my head covered. Forgive me, Father. But, these brothers really need to look at themselves and pay attention to what they're doing. But no, they don't see themselves. All they're looking at is trying to correct women. It's all about correcting women. But now you wanna beg. Now you wanna come back and be groveling and try to act like I'm a man and you need a protector. I needed a protector 2 years ago when you told me you was gonna do this, that, and the third, and you didn't keep your word. I needed a man then. I needed somebody who I can trust then. I needed somebody who was going to keep their word and their vow to the Most High then. But it wasn't a concern then. So now all of a sudden you can so concerned about keeping women in order. All of a sudden. Why, I wonder? Why? What's going on? All of a sudden now you such a man and now you can move furniture. When the garbage been sitting there for months and you won't take the garbage out. When the light fixture needs fixed and you ain't fixed that. I mean, how many sisters have lived with men and you needed stuff done in the house and you can't get nothing done and you keep saying it and saying and asking and it won't get done. And they know that you need help. They know that you need this done. They know what you're going through, but they refuse to help you. They refuse to do what they're supposed to do as a man. And then they want to turn it around. And see, this is what makes women not want to move. Because now you want to turn it around and it's still my fault. Right? Oh, I'm not humble enough. I'm not meek enough. Now that I'm speaking up and I'm not even interested. Like you said, thanks, but no thanks. Because I've heard it all before. I could see that you ain't keeping it because you haven't doubled back and even apologized for your behavior when you broke the first vow. So you going to sweep that under the rug and try to act like, oh, you didn't make a vow to me and the Most High and say this. And I'm not talking about marriage. I'm just talking about something you said you was going to do. I mean, you can't even keep your word, brother. So what makes you think that I'm even interested is what I like to say to brothers. Like, once you've disappointed me to that level where I'm just like, okay, I'm disappointed. Okay, whatever. I'll move on. I can get past it. No problem. Okay. So you done moved on. Now you want to come back and try to act like, oh, it's my fault. I'm not woman enough. I'm not humble enough. I'm not virtuous enough. I'm not feminine enough. Because once you decided that you're not going to keep your vow and you're not going to do what you promised you was going to do, what you suggest, what you offered to do. Ain't nobody asked you. You came and offered and said you want to do this and you want to do this. Then all of a sudden, Satan got in your head and your mind and you changed your mind. And now, I'm not feminine enough. I'm not humble enough. I'm not virtuous enough. Do you see the contradiction, the foolishness? And then they're going to look you in your face and try to act like they want to be called King and Lord now. But when you were calling them King and Lord before, they thought you had some ulterior motive. It's a bunch of foolishness, brothers and sisters. Unless these men get in order with the Most High, we ain't got to go through this wickedness, this wicked cycle of foolishness. And if you say something to them, you can't say nothing to them. You must take it. But no, there has to be some correction so we don't have to be going through this wickedness over and over again. You made a vow, brother, and you broke your word. Not only to me, you did it to the Most High. And that's how I know you're not in order. So don't turn around now and try to call me wicked, try to say that I'm not virtuous, that I'm not with the Most High, that I'm not doing, because now once you left and you packed up and you went, I got a job and I started to take care of myself and I started to work and get my stuff in order and do what I feel the Most High needs me to do. You see how this works? Can you hear me? Because I'm sure, like most men, they can't even hear you when you're telling them the story. This is how it really went. This is how it really went. You made a vow. You broke your word. Your word is your bond, brother. If you can't keep your word, then you ain't got nothing, brother. And so you really don't have nothing to say to me. I'm not, you ain't got to keep doing me dirty over and over and over again. You already broke your word. You broke your word to the Most High. You can't keep your vow you made to the Most High. Why would I trust you with my soul when you don't keep your word? And you so easily broke it. And you was like, I don't need it. Okay. I didn't question you. I didn't come and ask you why. I didn't, none of those things. I've moved on. And it's okay. Because what the Most High has for me is for me. And I'm not afraid. And there's plenty of men. There's plenty of men. I just gotta pick one. But because I'm not an out of order woman, I don't just go for any man, and I'm not going to do that. I'll take my time. I'm okay. Praise AHAYAH. Because I have AHAYAH by Hashem Yashaya. He loves the daughter of Zion. And even at my lowest point, AHAYAH got me. I thank AHAYAH. I praise AHAYAH. I give glory and honor to my Father who takes care of me. And I don't like to be manipulated by people and try to come back after you broke your word to me and you act like it wasn't important. Now you're going to come around and act like I'm not a righteous sister and I'm not a virtuous woman and the Most High is not with me because you decided to do something else. And now you want to grovel and try to act like, oh, you need a man, you need a man, you need a man. The nerve of you is what I say. Keep the same energy that you had before. When you decided to break your vow for whatever reason, you got on your high horse and was like, okay. Because I read the scriptures too. And Abraham, he didn't act like that with Sarah. He didn't make Sarah have to grovel for nothing. He gave her. He kept his word. Abraham was a man of his word. Noah was a man of his word. All the righteous kings and prophets kept their word. And there's plenty of wicked men in the Bible too, who did not keep their word, who did people maliciously and disrespected people. There's plenty kings. Read the book of Kings 1 and 2 and read of all the men that went against the Most High, that were wicked in their ways. David's son, there was a bunch of them. So just because you are Israelite and you know these scriptures, that don't make you a righteous man. What makes you a righteous man is that you are righteous. You do things right and you treat people right. And you don't just do people any old kind of way and then try to turn it around and flip the scriptures and make a woman feel like she's not righteous and holy because of something you came up in your mind with. That's wicked. That's wickedness. And these brothers really need to look at themselves and how they do things, because we in the time of judgment with the Most High. He's judging Israel right now. And you're not going to get away with that. You're not going to get away with doing the daughters of Zion like that. It's wickedness to not repent, to think because you're a man that you don't need to be in a repentive state and do what's right and come back and correct your wrongs. It's wickedness. And I just had to say this, for sisters, because I've seen sisters. I have cousins, mothers, aunts, all growing up watching. I was a very watchful child. So I saw things and I came to conclusions. And I seen sisters working when brothers couldn't get no jobs. Before they started slinging drugs on the street, they were in the house. They had women. And when the women go to work, the brother come and sleep with another woman, the next door neighbor, in her house, in her bed. All kind of wickedness. And I'm talking about this is back in the day. Before women was acting up. Before you can accuse these sisters of being so reckless now. There was a time when the brothers were just out of control doing whatever they wanted to do. And now sisters have taken that and met them. But now the sisters are here with the wickedness and the brothers are still up here. Because they just following the men. And until the men get in order, then the sisters will follow suit. But as long as you don't want to correct yourself, it's just going to be a vicious cycle. It don't matter how much women submit to wicked men. You still going to be wicked in their eyes because all they see is wickedness. They don't see the righteousness of sisters just standing by waiting. Even the daughters of Zion now want to come up under these brothers and, fall under. And these brothers ain't right. They can't even keep their word to the Most High, running back to Babylon like like Lot's wife. They ran back to Babylon like Lot's wife and still talking crap. You sitting in Babylon, brother. The Most High called you out. And they trying to act like it's okay. It's not okay, brother. If you sitting in Babylon, it's not okay. How? How can a woman submit to you when you can't even keep your word? You can't even keep your word. And there's scriptures on that. And I'm going to bring it out. And I'm going to bring out, too, when you don't keep your word. When you decide to say, okay, no, I'm not doing that. And just up and leave. And leave a sister holding the bag. And now she has to go find a job to fend for herself. And now she's not righteous and she's out of order because she had to take care of herself. She's wicked. She's Lot's wife. She's Jezebel because you decided to leave. You didn't keep your word. You ran back to Babylon. And now everybody else is out of order. It's wickedness. Okay, hold on. I'm going to get those scriptures for you. Okay, praise AHAYAH, Yashaya. I had to put on my glasses because I want to go into scriptures and talk about your word is your bond. And it's sad that I even have to go there because, I don't even like to go here with people because once I feel like I have to go here and tell people, it seems like it's no turning back for me, because you should know this, our brothers and our men, they should know these things. And I shouldn't have to be going into scriptures pointing this stuff out. But sometimes people just need to hear it. Even though they're not going to take it to heart, they're not going to receive it because they wicked. They wicked and they ain't trying to hear. But let's see what the scriptures say. Praise AHAYAH. Okay, I'm back. I had to put my glasses on because I want to go into some scriptures about your word is your bond. And see, this is very significant, sisters and brothers. For this is for brothers who just think, they just They just think that they can do and say whatever they want to say, and they're not accountable. But you're accountable to the Most High. And if you make a vow, you are supposed to keep your word. Your word is everything, brother. And if you can't keep your word to AHAYAH, you sure enough not going to keep your word to me. And this is, sisters, how you can tell a man, a good man. Because, see, a lot of these brothers, they base manhood on whether they can move some furniture for you, or if they can stand up and, get in somebody's face for you. But no, a true man is a man of a Most High, and he will keep his word. He will make a vow to you and keep his word. And see, then that's how you can base on whether you can accept a man. Just because a man wants to marry you, just because a man, offers to help you, if he's not a man of the Most High, and if he don't keep his vows, it means nothing, sisters. It means nothing. A man has to keep his word. And when he makes a vow to you, he's making a vow to the Most High. And I'm not just talking about marriage. I'm just talking about if he says he's going to do something for you. Because they'll come up and act like, oh, they want you. They're interested in you. And then they're going to do this, that, and the third. And then all of a sudden, they change their mind. See, that's a wicked brother. And you want to run as far away from any brother who can't keep his word. You see those kind of red flags, that means run. Okay? So we're going to go into scriptures. I don't know if I can go into the scriptures. Let's see. Okay. So let's go into the scriptures about this, keeping your word. Your word is your bond. It's very important, sis. Sisters, this is how you know when you got a good man and you got a husband. Okay? This is how you know. 1 John 2 and 5. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of AHAYAH perfected. Hereby know we that are in him. So you'll know him by his fruit. By if he says things and he tells you he's going to do something, and he keeps his word. Now, how many daughters of Zion had men, a husband, a boyfriend, or a friend even, that will sit in the house and tell you, oh, you see the light is broken, won't fix the light. The garbage is overflowing. They won't take out the garbage. They won't help you. And they'll even tell you that they're going to do something, but they won't. It takes weeks for them to get it done. See, this is how you can tell a man. A man, it's not just him moving some furniture when you need it. It's also a man keeping his word when he say he's going to do something. When he offers, now you don't even ask him. He offered. He say he's interested. He wants to do this, that. He give you all this stuff, and then he turn around and double back, and he don't like the way something else that you did down the line. He gets mad about something, and then he totally do a 360 on you. See, that's how you know that's not a good brother. He's a wicked brother. He's not going to keep his word. He's going to find a way to get out of what he said he was going to do, right? And then he's going to turn around and call you wicked and make it your fault and try to act like you're not righteous and you're not virtuous. That's a wicked brother. And you run as far as you can from anybody that's doing that to you, because that's how abusive starts. They'll start by doing little things, first accusing you, then calling you names. Next thing they're pushing you, putting their hands on you, and then they're taking your life. See, hearing about all these sisters getting killed. It's not that these women are not good women. It's that these good women are with men who are no good, and they will end up taking your life. You understand? So you be very careful, even just because a man comes up and he wants to marry you, and you're supposed to be also happy because he's offering you marriage. But you check out the character of this brother. If he don't keep his word, if he lies to you and he tells you he's going to do something and then he turn around, he don't do it, that's a red flag, sister. That means he's a liar. Okay? And like I wanted to say, also, me coming out of Babylon, I witnessed a lot of brothers who came out of Babylon, who was in different parts of the world, and then they end up going back to Babylon they end up doing a Lot's wife. They double back and goes back to Babylon and sit there and working and doing all kind of stuff. They couldn't even keep their word to the Most High. They made a vow to the Most High to come. He said, come out of my people. The Most High instructed them and commanded them to do something, and they listened, but then they doubled back and went back to Babylon. So if they can't keep their word to AHAYAH, what makes you think that they're going to keep their word to you? As soon as a little problem come up, things get a little hard, they turn it around on you and they went back to Babylon. So then what is a sister supposed to do? But she's going to get up and she's going to take care of her family. She's going to work and she's going to do what the things she needs to do. And that same brother will come back around and see you working and taking care of yourself and you okay. He may have left you to fend for yourself. And now you okay. Now, if you working, you're operating in the spirit of a man. If you're working, you're not righteous. You're not virtuous. You're not holy. You see what I'm saying? This is the wickedness you got to deal with these brothers because they're so delusional in their thinking. They'll come up with any reason in any way to make you the problem and you the enemy instead of looking at themselves and looking at the things that they have done and did to put you in this position where you even have to work. A lot of brothers will make a vow and try to act like, oh, they're willing to help you. They're going to do this, do that, and do this. And then they'll turn around and just do a 360 on you. And then when you get on your feet and you work and you try to take care of things, now you unrighteous. You unholy. You're not virtuous. You're not feminine. It's abusive behavior. That's the start. And sisters, you pay attention to brothers like this because if you see a brother like this, you run in the opposite direction. If your brother can't keep his word, he ain't no good for nothing. He don't even keep his word to AHAYAH. How you expect him to keep his word to you? He know he ain't supposed to be sitting in Babylon doing anything. But yet he'll turn it all around and it's your fault. You're the wicked one. You're Jezebel. Now you're Lot's wife. You're all kind of stuff. But when all actuality, he's doing the Lot's wife. He's sitting in Babylon. What you doing in Babylon? Listen, Matthew 5:33, it says, again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shall perform unto AHAYAH thine oath. Praise AHAYAH. Everything you said you was going to do, you should do it. Matthew 5:34, but I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is AHAYAH's throne. Hold on. It is AHAYAH's throne. And nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make it black or white. Praise AHAYAH by Yashaya. Hold on. I'll keep losing my space. But let your communication be yea or nay, for whosoever is more than these cometh evil. Yeah. So let it be yea or nay. Not, yeah, oh sister, I want to do this and I could do that and do this. And then turn around and say, no. No. Just like that. You just give a no. Totally do a 360 and say no after you done made a vow to the Most High. That's wicked, sis. And if brothers doing that kind of stuff to you, run. Leave them alone because they ain't for no good. They ain't no good to the Most High and they ain't going to be no good for you. I don't care how much they complain. They're going to show their true colors. They're going to come out. And because then they'll come back, try to wait 2 years later, and now want to act like, oh, They don't even come back they're not even man enough to apologize. Not even man enough to say they're wrong. They want to sit down and boast and try to grovel. I'm a man. I'm a man. Oh yeah, you need a man, sister. You need a man because Tom can. No, I needed a man 2 years ago when you told me that you was gonna do this, that, and the third, but you never came through with your vow. Yeah, I needed a man back then when I was believing and trusting you, and I was calling you king, and I was calling you Lord, and you didn't respect that, or you thought I was just trying to, trying to ruffle you up. Like they'll find evil in the good that you do. You know, what kind of crap is that? And then try to act like you're not a righteous sister, and you're not virtuous, and you're not kind, and you're not, building them up and trying to stand with them. They take that as weakness. The majority of men, they see a good woman, they take it as weakness. They trample over you. They belittle you. That's why so many of these sisters, they ain't no good. They bitter and angry. Praise AHAYAH. And I'm just speaking on the behalf of sisters because I'm not bitter and angry and I'm not mad. I know how to dust myself off and keep it moving. And because I trust in AHAYAH. I pay attention. And I watch people and I see that you ain't going to keep your word. So it's no sense of me getting all engulfed in this situation because you ain't going to keep your word. You already don't keep your word to the Most High. I already peeped that. It says, if a man, Numbers 30:2. If a man vow a vow unto AHAYAH or swear an oath to bind his soul. So when you make an oath to the Most High, you bind in your soul. A soul bond. He shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Thus saith AHAYAH. You said you was going to do something. You cannot come back and change your mind, make a false accusation, call me wicked, and try to come up with something negative so you don't keep your vow. AHAYAH is not tolerating that foolishness, that wickedness. It's not according to AHAYAH. It's not righteous. And for you to come around and try to act like now, oh, you don't even mention it. You done forgot that you made a lie, a false accusation. You made a false claim, a false vow. You broke your word. Your word is supposed to be your bond. And if you can't keep your word, you ain't got nothing. Okay? Praise AHAYAH B'Hashem Yashaya. Okay, and that's Proverbs. It says Proverbs 25:14. Whoso boasteth himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. So you're making all these boasts, trying to act like, oh, you this kind of brother, you did it, but then you don't keep your word. Proverbs 20:6. Most men will proclaim everyone his goodness, but a faithful man who can find one? Who can find a faithful man? Because the average man is not going to keep his word. The average man going to say, just talk, and you're going to turn around and do something obvious, opposite. Sisters, pay attention to these brothers and what they say and what they do. If they not walking the walk that they talking, run. That means they ain't going to do right, sis. Don't even come up with something, try to, oh, I saw it. Listen. AHAYAH, read the scriptures. That's a man. You don't judge a man just by how strong he is. You don't judge a man by can he move some furniture in your house or if he's going to give you a little money here and there. You judge a man, well, will he keep his word? His word is his bond. And if he don't keep his word to his vows to AHAYAH, he ain't going to keep it to you. Praise AHAYAH B'Hashem Yashaya. It says 2 Colossians 11:14. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. People be faking. They faking the funk. But they can't fake but for so long. Because they can make up stuff and they can try to act like, oh, I'm going to protect you, sister. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And as soon as they get the opportunity to change their mind, they're going to do it. And they're going to get out of it. And they might even try to blame you for it and call you wicked and say you're not feminine enough and you're not righteous enough and you're not a daughter of Zion. They'll do that to you and try to act like it's your fault when they had no intentions to do right by you. They're luring you into a wrong area. The Most High said, come out of her, my people. Jordan is the safe place. It's within his borders. Anything outside of that is a lie. So don't let nobody lure you and try to act like, oh, you need a man and you need protection when you can't even believe what's coming out of his mouth because he lies so much. Trust AHAYAH. He'll provide you a man because the Most High said in that day it'll be 7 women to 1 man. So it's going to be a low shortage of these good men. These men who could keep their word. These men who make a vow and keep it. There's going to be a shortage of those type of men. But those will be the men who will be in the wilderness with these women. These whole bunch of women who come out because they see that something ain't right. They see that these brothers ain't keeping their word and their word ain't their bond. That's how you know a man. Because he going to make a vow to AHAYAH and he going to keep it. He's not going to come out of Babylon and then double back and go to Babylon. He broke his vow to AHAYAH. So you know he's going to break his vow to you. Okay? That's how you know a man. That's how you judge a man based on what he says lines up with what he's doing. Okay? Matthew 6:2, therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. So if there's a man trying to act like, oh, he's doing this and oh, he's doing that and showing you pictures of stuff, but they ain't got this stuff together. They still don't have it together. They still ain't got it showing you really nothing. That's a sign for you, sisters. Don't believe the hype. It's a lie. And brothers is playing. They making vows and they're not keeping it. They're not keeping the vows to the Most High. They were outside of a Babylon already. They were in Egypt, sisters and brothers. They should have cattle by now, horses, goats, sheep, everything by now. But they didn't keep their word to the Most High. They doubled back to Babylon like Lot's wife. They did the Lot's wife. Like a woman, they went back to Babylon. They didn't even keep their word to AHAYAH. And now they want to try to act like, oh, you not right. You're the problem. You're not righteous enough. You're not feminine enough. This is what these brothers are saying. The nerve of them. But they don't see their wicked ways. They don't see. The wicked is going to continue doing more wickedly. They don't see themselves because they're not repentive. They don't repent of their sins to the Most High. Because if you're a repentant, humble person, you could say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And come back and then make an apology. But no, you made a vow. You stood in and made a vow to me and broke it. And then got cocky about it with your ego, your demonic ego. And now, 2 years later, you want to come back and act like, oh, you didn't even make a vow. Everything is okay. But you're the wicked one because you're working. And you're doing business and you're supposed to be a woman. What kind of wickedness is this, sisters and brothers? What is going on with the delusion? This is what I said. They come up stuff in their mind is wicked. Like the thoughts they be thinking, how they come to conclusion is wicked. It's a bunch of wickedness. And now they want to act like I'm a man. You got to submit to me. You need a man. You need a man. But I needed a man before. When I was calling you king and, Lord and trying to be right with you. But you didn't see a righteous sister in me. Even then, you didn't see it. So now, how you gonna see what you want to see now? What you looking for? Now you want to beg and grovel and try to act like, oh, you need a man. I needed a man then. What happened? You just decided no, you didn't want to do it, and that's it. So, sisters, I'm telling you, pay attention. Look at what they say and what they do. They're not right, sisters. If they can't come to you right and apologize for their wicked behavior, sit up in your house, won't clean, won't cook, won't do nothing for you. See you doing all the work. Stuff is broken. I mean, they ain't got to cook and clean, but if you see something broken and they won't fix it for you, they won't do nothing. Months will go by, and you may say you don't want to say nothing because you know you're going to get mad. You're a humble sister, so you don't want to be asking and keep asking. He know. But now, you need a man. I always needed a man. I needed a man when you was disrespecting me and doing me kind of dirty. And, it was no. It was just straight no. It was no reason. No, you didn't want it. You could say no. Well, keep the same energy. Because in the highest eyes, he sees a righteous woman, and a higher knows a righteous woman when he see it. A higher is righteous, and any righteous man knows a righteous woman. You ain't got to be jumping through no hoops trying to prove nothing to nobody. Daughters of Zion, you're beautiful because a higher said you're beautiful. And these brothers shouldn't be beating you with these kind of things. Oh, you're not feminine enough because you got a job. You're not feminine enough because you don't have a man. No, I had a man, but he didn't know how to treat me. So listen, when he said, okay, he's walking away, let him walk. I'm not begging nobody to stay. A righteous woman shouldn't have to be begging no man to do nothing for her. He should see the good in her and do it. Let's go into what the Most High say a righteous woman, how she does and what she does. This is what AHAYAH says. Proverbs 31. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far beyond or above rubies. This is a righteous woman in the eyes of AHAYAH. So nobody can tell you that if you work, you being a man, you not feminine enough. Ain't nobody can say that to you because the scriptures tell you what a righteous woman is. Her heart, the heart of her husband do safely trust in her so that he shall have no need for spoil you. Why? Because when she says she's going to do something, she does it. When she needs something, sees something needs to be taken care of, she takes care of it. And she don't say she make a vow and then she turn around and don't do it. That's not righteousness. You keep your word. Okay? That's how you know righteous man and a righteous woman. Because they say they do what they say they're going to do. Okay? She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. And she expects the same from her husband. He's supposed to, if she's righteous, he's supposed to be righteous. You don't want to be with a man that you're unequally yoked with. You righteous and you do and you did it. And this man is sitting back and going to watch you do all this. And then going to call you wicked for doing it. No. She seeketh wool and flax, and she worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships, and she bringeth her food from afar. She rises up while it's still yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maid. This is a righteous woman. She works with her hand. She's not sitting around idle. She does things to keep her household running. If her husband is providing the money, and this is what she's doing with it, fine. But if her husband's down on his luck and she creates her own money, she's still getting it done. Okay? And even if she's with a wicked man who won't do for her, she's going to get it done. Okay? This is a righteous woman. She does work. She considers a field. She buys a field. And the fruits of her hand planted a vineyard. She's doing all these things. This is a righteous woman in the eyes of AHAYAH. So don't let no brother say that you're not feminine because you're working. You're not being righteous or holy or comely because you work. What kind of foolishness is that? The Bible says different. And every woman wants a man that you don't have to work and he can take care of you. But he has to be able to keep his word. How you going to trust in a man and not work? And as soon as you start working, then everything falls apart and now you're left alone. That's why you end up having to work in the first place, because you got with somebody who did not keep their word. They did not keep their vow. And see, brothers seem to forget this kind of stuff. Like these brothers don't have a part in this. And this is why a sister would even have to work in the first place. Because some brother didn't keep his word. He didn't keep his vow. He didn't do what he said he was going to do. She proceedeth that merchant is good, and the candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretches out her hand to the poor, yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh her covering of tapestry, and her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen. She maketh her own linen, and selleth, and delivereth girdles unto the merchants. So this is a sister who the Most High values as righteous. She does all this. She's a righteous woman. She takes care of household, whether she got a man or not. She gonna do this. She gonna do it if the man give her money and provides, or if she has to go and work and make her own money. Don't let nobody deceive you. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she rejoiced in time to come. Praise AHAYAH. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. And just because you got to correct people, that does not mean you're not kind. It's only through love that you even take the time to correct people, because you know when they're out of order. You know when they're spewing madness out of their mouth. And sometimes you could just leave them and let the dead deal with the dead. But sometimes you just have to speak and let people know and see the error of their ways. Your word is your bond. And you make a vow, you are supposed to keep everything that you say you're going to do. Don't turn around and bring wickedness to somebody else and try to act like they've done something wrong, because you don't want to keep your word. Or maybe, who knows, maybe you didn't have it at the time and you didn't know that the Most High was going to bless you. But she knew that the Most High, because she can see in you. She see righteousness in you, and she saw that the good, even if you didn't have it at the time, she knew that there was a possibility that you can get it. But you didn't even believe in yourself. So instead you started to play all these games and turn it around on her and count it as wickedness. And that's when you showed yourself. When you showed that you're not even a righteous man, because you can't even keep your word. So you know the rest. You can read Proverbs 31, that a woman takes care of her household. This is a righteous woman. So don't let no brother tell you that you're not righteous. Don't let anybody tell you that, the Most High ain't with you and you're not feminine enough and all this wickedness because you have to work or you choose to wait to help bring, things to your household. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because this is long enough. I give all glory and praise to AHAYAH. He is so merciful. Sisters, love yourself. Take out that weave and all that nonsense out your hair, them fake lashes, them fake braids, all that stuff. You're beautiful, sisters. And these brothers, they're going to just have to get themselves together. They're going to get it together. They're going to stop this nonsense and they're going to get themselves together. But just because a man comes to you and he wants to marry you and it's nice and wonderful, especially if he's a type of brother that got some money or, potential. It's nice, but you make sure you check the character on this brother. Can he keep his word? Does he do what he say? Does he keep his word to AHAYAH? Because if he can't keep his word to AHAYAH, he's not going to keep his word to you. And that's how you judge the man. So I give all glory and praise to AHAYAH, Yashaya. Bahashem Yashaya. Wa Kwadash Wawak. Shalom Israel.